As we continue with the program, I will also share my own story. Once again, I am Dr. Adunni. My journey began in the humble town of Oyo. In the heart of West Africa lies the vibrant town of Oyo, Nigeria, a place steeped in rich culture and tradition. Oyo is more than just a town, it is a community where people live in harmony with one another and their surroundings. The town of Oyo is known for its warm hospitality and welcoming spirit. From the bustling markets to the colorful festivals, there is always a sense of celebration in the air. The people of Oyo take great pride in their cultural heritage, which is evident in their traditional dances, art, and cuisine. One of the core cultural practices in Oyo is female genital mutilation, FGM. For generations, it has been seen as a rite of passage for young girls, a way to ensure their purity and chastity. Despite its controversial nature, FGM has remained an integral part of the town's culture, passed down from one generation to the next. The town's culture is also deeply rooted in spirituality, with traditional beliefs playing a significant role in daily life. From the worship of ancestral spirits to the celebration of local deities, spirituality is woven into the fabric of Oyo's culture. Despite the challenges they face, the people of Oyo remain resilient, drawing strength from their cultural heritage and community bonds. It is this spirit of resilience and unity that defines Oyo and its people, making it a truly remarkable place to call home. One day, my mother sat me down and told me about the cultural practice of female genital mutilation, FGM, that had been a part of our community for generations. She spoke of how, as a young girl, she had undergone the procedure herself, as was the norm for all girls in our town before they reached the age of 15. My mother told me about the pain and trauma she had experienced as a result of FGM, and how she had vowed that her own daughters would never have to endure the same fate. She spoke of the importance of questioning harmful traditions and standing up for what is right, even in the face of opposition. As I grew older, my mother's words stayed with me, guiding me in my own journey to defy tradition and advocate for change. I realized that I had a choice to break the cycle of FGM and pave the way for a better future for the girls in my community. When I was 14 years old, the time had come for me to undergo the traditional practice of female genital mutilation, FGM, as was the custom in our town. As I grew older, the tension in my household grew as well. My father, a staunch believer in tradition, could not understand why my mother and I refused to honor the norms of our community, particularly the practice of female genital mutilation, FGM. I remember one evening, the air thick with tension as my parents argued fiercely about our defiance. My father insisted that we were bringing shame upon our family and dishonoring our ancestors by not adhering to tradition. My mother, however, stood firm, her voice steady as she defended our decision. The argument escalated, with my father's anger boiling over. He accused my mother of being weak and easily influenced by outside ideas. He could not comprehend why she would risk everything for the sake of a principle he could not understand. Despite the conflict, my mother never wavered in her belief that we were doing the right thing. She remained a source of strength and inspiration for me, showing me that sometimes, the hardest battles are fought not with fists, but with unwavering determination and conviction. My decision sparked outrage among the elders of the town, who saw my refusal as a rejection of our cultural heritage. Despite my mother's pleas and attempts to explain our reasoning, we were cast out of the town, deemed outcast for defying tradition. For months, we wandered from village to village, seeking refuge and acceptance. It was a difficult time, filled with uncertainty and hardship. But through it all, my mother remained strong, reminding me that we were fighting not just for ourselves, but for the future of our daughters and granddaughters. After we were cast out of our town for refusing to adhere to the harmful tradition of female genital mutilation, FGM, my mother and I found refuge in a new community that welcomed us with open arms. However, our peace was short-lived. Word of our defiance spread, reaching the ears of the elders from our former town. They could not accept that we had found acceptance elsewhere and were determined to send us away once more. One day, as we were going about our daily routine, a group of elders arrived in our new home, accompanied by emissaries sent to deliver their message. They demanded that we leave immediately, citing our refusal to adhere to tradition as the reason for their decision. My mother, ever the picture of grace under pressure, calmly listened to their words before responding. She explained our reasons for refusing to undergo FGM, emphasizing that our decision was not made lightly and was based on our firm belief in the right of every individual to bodily autonomy. The elders, unmoved by her words, remained steadfast in their decision. They gave us no choice but to pack our belongings once more and leave the home we had come to love. As we walked away from our new home, I felt a mixture of sadness and anger. Sadness at leaving behind the community that had accepted us and anger at the elders who could not see past their own traditions to understand the harm they were causing. After being cast out of our second home, my mother and I found ourselves with nowhere to go. We were alone and without hope until a total stranger appeared in our lives, offering us a chance at a new beginning. The stranger, a kind-hearted woman from Lagos, took us under her wing and brought us to the bustling city to start afresh. She provided us with a place to stay and helped us find work to sustain ourselves. It was in Lagos that I found my calling. Inspired by our journey and determined to make a difference, I decided to study medicine with a focus on child rights. I wanted to become an advocate for those who, like me, had been denied their rights and had their voices silenced. Through hard work and determination, I graduated from medical school and began my career as a doctor. But I knew that my work was far from over. I continued to fight for the rights of children, using my voice and my platform to bring attention to the issues that mattered most to me. As I look back on my journey, I am filled with gratitude for two remarkable women who shaped the course of my life, my mother and Mama Ayoka. My mother, whose unwavering strength and courage inspired me to defy tradition and stand up for what is right. She sacrificed so much for me, always putting my needs before her own, and for that, I will be forever grateful. And then there is Mama Ayoka, the stranger who became a savior, taking us in when we had nowhere else to go. Her kindness and generosity knew no bounds, and without her, I would not be where I am today. Together, these two women taught me the true meaning of resilience, determination, and compassion. They showed me that no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always hope and kindness to be found. Today, as I stand before you as a doctor and advocate for child rights, I carry their legacy with me. I strive to honor their memory by continuing to fight for justice and equality for all, just as they did for me. So here's to my mother, whose love knows no bounds, and to Mama Ayoka, whose kindness knows no limits. May their spirits live on in me, guiding me always on the path of righteousness and compassion. As Dr. Adunni finished her heartfelt story, her voice resonating with emotion and conviction, the entire conference hall fell into a momentary silence, deeply moved by her journey. Then, as if sparked by an unspoken agreement, the audience rose to their feet in a standing ovation, the applause growing louder and more fervent with each passing second. From the middle of the crowd, a voice rang out, clear and determined, "No more female genital mutilation." The words hung in the air for a moment before being picked up by others. Soon, the chant grew, swelling into a powerful chorus that filled the room. No more female mutilation. No more female mutilation. The fervor of the audience's response was palpable, a united cry for change and justice. The uproar was so strong, it reverberated through the walls of the conference hall, echoing the collective resolve of those present to stand against this harmful tradition. Dr. Adunni looked out at the sea of determined faces, tears of gratitude and hope welling up in her eyes. In that moment, she knew her message had truly resonated, igniting a spark of transformation that would ripple far beyond the room.
Thank you for watching. For more African folktales, be sure to subscribe to our channel.